broadcasting. We are live. Well, for all you watching out there, welcome back to Two Captains One Pod, the official second episode. My name is Captain Hudson. I am here with TGTC Studios.
What's up, guys? And we are back. It feels like it's been 20 years. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nod, nod.
Very, very subtle. Very subtle.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. This bridge seems a little outdated a bit.
Sometimes outdated things are the best.
Oh, the crew looks great, though.
Oh, indeed.
You know,
All
let's
right.
see. In the past 20 years, let's see. We ditched the traditional colors. Now we've got these more light pastel colors on the uniforms. Some people still have their. Where's your engineer? Let's see.
Right behind you.
Let's see. This guy right here. He's still got the red for engineering, you know, and that'll stay for a movie.
Mm-hmm.
But, God, I miss those uniforms. They look great. But, hey, you know, in another couple of years, we're going to get a really great uniform that's going to last for, in universe, 80 years or so?
Yeah, almost 80 or 90 years, just give or take a couple decades. But yeah, so we are on the good old Constitution class bridge that we all know and love.
Just look at that plaque. There hasn't been a better plaque than this until you get to the next gen. Next gen's got a pretty good plaque. I like that one.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and get ourselves started here.
All right.
So as you can see, we are on current Earth space dock instead of the really small 23rd century version. We have transported ourselves to the future. Well, not ourselves, but, you know.
Yeah. Daniels.
I'm going to go ahead and return to my ship here. A very special ship.
Once I make it down to space dock, I'll get to my ship and meet you in the skies.
I should be loading in here any minute. Here we are. And you should be... There you are right there.
Where is... There she is. For ourselves.
Very special ship that was kind of easily, kind of not easily obtained. It was easy to obtain. It was easy to obtain, but not easy to obtain. Luck of the draw, as it were.
The Star Trek Discovery. Enterprise.
So this is the Constitution class as it appears in Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Pretty damn good looking ship, if I do say so myself.
Oh, it does look great. But now, of course, as many people know, we are now in the A era. Or, well, no, we're not in the A era yet. We're in the refit era. So
yes.
We don't make the A until, what, the fourth movie, technically?
No, the fourth movie.
Yeah.
We don't even get the A till the fourth movie, and even then we only get it in the last 2 minutes of the movie.
Yeah. So we'd be in the refit era, which is where I have my ship kind of looking like a ship from that era. I could have gotten the refit Enterprise. I chose not to.
So allow me to position my ship here so that they can all witness this glorious occasion.
just how massive your ship is compared to mine.
Well, Saber classes were meant to be small.
Oh yeah. And I'm kind of curious to see how she fights. I mean, I'm used to my T6 ships, which I could, bring one of them out, but we'll save that for a different day.
For those of you who do not know, a Tier 6 ship is a ship you can use pretty much from the start, as long as you complete the tutorial. After that, you can use a Tier 6 ship.
Yep. And, yeah. Y'all saw we completed the tutorial last time. We're now in present day. We're good to go. We can use those Tier 6 ships. I just chose not to. Because I'd like to see the ships, the ship progression as well. I think that's a fun little anecdote that Star Trek does, is every time there's a new era, there's a new ship, style, and look.
Now, Chris, if you want to angle your ship down just a hair so we can see the nice Aztec and nice motion picture era Aztec and whatnot you've got on your ship that fits with the aesthetic of those movies.
Yeah.
So he's got his ship decked out in quite a original series movie fashion. I, however, do not.
Had to go with the original series.
In the words of Jack Crusher, I've always been a Constitution. I am definitely a Constitution class man.
Absolutely. And I am too. Don't get me wrong. Do I have a Constitution class that I could bring out? Yes. Is it a Tier 1? Yes. Would it get me obliterated? Absolutely. But I could do it.
That's the trade-off. Do you want to get obliterated?
Right. Which so. I sincerely do not. I've got a good crew, a good group. Don't want them to die.
Not yet, anyway.
Right.
I mean, none of them are wearing red shirts, so I mean, well, not anymore, but that's beside the point. So I'm going to queue up our next mission here real quick.
Sounds good. And
we have a diplomatic mission for you.
And I love how every time people mention Star Trek and they talk about the red shirts, the red shirts always die. Well, that hasn't happened since the 60s, people. It's the yellow shirts now.
Right.
Gotta love those yellow shirts.
Except for the movie area, because then everyone was wearing red.
And they didn't know who to kill. That's why Spock, I mean, God, that was an emotional whirlwind of...
That was an emotional train wreck.
Oh, yeah. They got Spock.
Great movie, emotional train wreck.
Alright, the current mission, locate Ambassador Selketh on Vulcan. Oh gosh, this mission. Well, transwarping. See you there.
We should pop out right at the Vulcan system. Oh man, I gotta mess with my camera zoom. That's better. Yes, we are aware game.
These tiny ships, you used to some big ones.
I've gotten pretty used to mine. It's just a beautiful damn ship.
Greetings. I believe that Soketh would be much...
Oh, you know what? Look at that. Look what's right next to... There was a... Which, that's, of course, the ship that, Khan takes over, and, Chekhov was on.
The good old Miranda class. Alright, you
want me to fly it?
I'll take the, well, never mind.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll take the reins on this one, but, no, I guess I'll let you do it.
And then here's what blows it all. The cutscene that shows a current shuttle.
A current shuttlecraft Landing on the surface of Vulcan. Yes, we must speak to the ambassador.
But hey, for those of you that are watching this and come back to watch this, and for those of you that have seen the movies, this should look familiar to you. This is where we get Spock back at the end of movie 3, Search for Spock.
Quick little Easter egg, if you don't mind coming back down here for a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Because as I am aware, these maps include a whole bunch of cool crap, such as Vulcan here. So if you want to follow me over this way,
Oh yeah.
this area should look, well, kind of familiar. If you've seen the motion picture, this area should look kind of familiar.
Oh yeah.
But more importantly, a tribute to the dearly departed.
There's only one thing to do here.
Mm-hmm.
So let me find it on the emotes. There.
I'm glad you found it. What is it under?
It's under Prosper.
That makes sense. Alright. Now we can go up to the top of the mountain.
Yep. And even more so, look, in that statue, look, he's wearing the robes from yeah, don't have a mission to kind of mess around, see what's all out here.
Now we can run up the hill.
Well, let's see. These now. Okay. So we're here to. What the hell? My guy just like froze for a second. All right, we're good to go. All right, so the movies. The first one, largely regarded as not so good. Now there are some people that like them. John, I believe you're in that category.
I am very much in that category.
Yeah.
It's a movie that famously lives in infamy.
Yeah. And now I'm in the category of, it was Star Trek, it was a motion picture, I understand why all the choices were made that made the choices that, they are. Do I think there's some things with the story that could have been a lot better? Absolutely, but you could have done it with any movie, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Are there other movies from Star Trek that I think are better, that I like more than the first one? Absolutely. However,
the succeeding 3 movies that came after the first one?
Absolutely, yeah. Number 2 will always be my absolute favorite. I talked with Bryce and
Oh.
Why am I still getting a green button?
I do not know.
Okay, there we go.
There.
Now it's switched.
You had to wait
2
for him
always
to
be
talk
my
to his
favorite.
aide.
Yeah. It's a different story for a different podcast. But I did enjoy number 1. The motion picture, I think, again, I find the uniform choice iffy on it. The pastel colors just don't scream Trek to me. Don't get me wrong, it definitely screams, military,
well,
We have logged your flight
yeah.
and you are cleared for departure.
The uniforms from the motion picture, the first movie, I actually do kind of like. I like some aspects of them. Like, for example, the white shirt that Kirk wore for a little bit, for 20 minutes in there.
That long sleeve, or the short sleeve one, yes.
Yeah, that short. I also like their communicators on the wrist. I was a fan of those communicators.
Right, right. And then let's see. Let's talk about the belt for a second. Now, this was never shown in the movie, but it was. I've heard this from like Michael Okuda, who, if y'all don't know who that is, you've got to be asleep under a rock somewhere for Star Trek, because he's been kind of carrying on what Gene sought out. He's written a lot of the books. He's done a lot of the commentaries for movies and TV shows. I've heard from him. So one of the original ideas for the belt was going to be a communicator as well, and it was going to be kind of like a pop out med kit in some situations. Like it was just going to be there was something stored in the belt. That's the reason it looked the way that it did.
Right.
I find that pretty interesting.
For those of you who are a bit of bookworms, the novelization for the motion picture, they monitor your bio readings, so like your vitals. So they kind of almost worked like a comm badge from the Next Generation popped into one. So it tracked where you were and like what your physical condition was. And that's the way the novelization of the motion picture describes it.
Energy pattern. Oh, who's out here?
It's the Klingons.
Who else? I will say I do love the Klingons, TNG era where we're all cool with them. I gotta say those Klingons are much my favorite Klingons, but having the Klingons as an enemy, they've got to be on top of my favorite Star Trek enemies lists. I like them a hell of a lot better than I like the Romulans. I gotta say that much. And the motion picture is the first time we ever see the ridges for the first time. In the way that it all came out.
Right.
And they all had the exact same head ridge at that point.
A wise.
And speaking of, there's my Klingon, my medical officer, Valkyra, which canonically would not be on the bridge.
Right. Now, let's see here. I thought I had... Oh, that's right. I couldn't claim that yet. So if you'll give me just a moment here real quick.
No worries. Put this in a little bit and feed these first Klingons.
Okay.
You wouldn't equip the motion picture era phaser pistol?
I don't have the motion picture era phaser pistol.
Oh, well, unfortunate. I thought you did. Or is that your other character?
I think that's one of my other characters. That was the Star Trek 6 phaser.
Ah, that's right.
But I do have my original series Type 2 phaser. That levels with me, so I can use this for the entire game if I wanted to. And I've done it with other characters.
Yeah, I've got the same one with me.
The white-handled one.
Yeah.
It's just a damn good phaser pistol.
It really is. And the nostalgia of the noises, the movements.
Oh, and the yeah. Anytime you vaporize somebody with it, it's better than if you were using like the regular phaser weapons.
Right.
Just the blue shimmer. And we have an incoming message.
I wonder what it could
I
be.
have terrible news. You need to.
Such emotion on your face. I see now my deception has been exposed. Pity. Capturing the abbot so we could replace him as well would have been beneficial. But we are strong. We will prevail. You are weak, and the weak shall perish.
Fantastical.
I have a little bit of white on the sides of my. That's cool.
And there he is.
There we go. I will say, I think one of my favorite things, though, one of my favorite interviews about the original series movies was one that George Takei, he was, they kept asking him what it was like to, they asked him what it was like to say it's a wrap on the 6th movie, Undiscovered Country. And he goes, well, I've said goodbye to Star Trek several times, because at the end of the 2nd season, we didn't know we were coming back, so we said goodbye to him. Then, we came back, and at the end of the 3rd season, said goodbye to him. I mean, they used to say that they said goodbye to Star Trek at the end of almost every movie. Until I think the 4th or 5th one when they realized, okay, we're actually going to make a couple more.
Right.
But at the end of the motion picture was supposed to be a one and done. And because it wasn't well perceived by most fans. They're like, well, we can't give that as a send-off. We'll do a second one, and that's where the Wrath of Khan comes in. And at the end of Wrath of Khan, it was so much the end of Star Trek, they killed off a major character.
Very major character.
But of course, at the end of that, you see how they add that little tidbit in which it's possible for Spock to come back if they wanted to do a 3rd one. Which eventually, of course, they got to do a 3rd one.
Right.
So, at the end of Star Trek 3, it's so much a goodbye that they killed the most important Star Trek character.
This is Captain Ford
being
of the USS Challenger.
the Enterprise.
Glad to see we made it here in time to lend you a hand. Perhaps.
Oh, here's a good frame right here.
Forge out.
Captain Geordi LaForge.
Now, of course, we will be talking about him here soon, as we get to the TNG era. But yeah, so at the end of Star Trek 3, they said goodbye to Star Trek so much so that they said we're going to kill the Enterprise. And about halfway through production of that movie is when they got the go-ahead for Star Trek 4, so they made the A a thing. The A becomes a thing.
Right.
Only because halfway through they got the go-ahead. For a... lost my train of thought there. For a fourth movie.
Right.
New... So we're going to go engineering here. Yeah. Alright. Dude, we gotta speak to Farah at the academy.
Which is not that far away from us.
Yeah, I'm just lying there.
No sense in wasting a tray stock when you can just plot a course.
Right?
I've received a report. There is a Bolian freighter that is overdue arriving at Earth space.
And so, by the time I'll see you guys in a couple years.
Right.
Which, as we know, that was the last time we'd see all of them together in a movie. But Sulu gets that great ending. He goes on to be the captain of the Excelsior. And then, of course, a couple years later, we'll see Chekhov, Scotty, and Kirk again in Generations. Another wonderful Star Trek movie.
I was about to say, but we didn't quite know that at the time that came out. But
yeah.
I mean, Next Gen was in full swing by the time they did Star Trek 6. So, I mean,
Right. Because I'd say, let's see, Next Gen started, 86, right?
That sounds right.
We'll look this up real quick. TNG. 87. It started in 87, September of 87. And so... movies. Let's see, what movies were out? First for Spock was 84. 86 was The Voyage Home. So yeah, The Voyage Home was the last movie with... Voyage Home was the last one before TNG came out. And of course, by then, not only are those movies in full swing, now there's this new show coming out. You also have the conventions have become a pretty big thing by the mid to late 80s.
Yep.
And so, while, yes, the movies are goodbye, it's a goodbye from the movies. It's never really goodbye for them at that time. Let's talk to Lieutenant Farah here.
And then that'll do that.
Alright, now we got some duty officers, let's go send them off. Beam up to Space Dock. Right? Or back to Space Dock.
I would just go to the Beta Quadrant. Because we're going to have to...
Too.
Yeah, because we're going to have to go to the next mission anyway.
That's right. I love that we still get to talk to the communicators, though. No matter what uniform we're wearing, that's going to be fun for me.
Oh, yeah. It's always a fun experience.
The Country came out in 91. And only 3 years later, we would see the end of Next Generation.
Right.
Transwarping to... And then with that, not only... Okay, so their last episode came out May 23rd, 1994 for Next Gen.
Mm-hmm.
And...
I don't think Generations would come out till... Like, what, 95?
No, Generations came out that same year. Came out that same year.
Transport SS Azura. Please help. Warp core containment field down.
I'm beginning this. Side. Yeah, Generations came out in '94. Just
To any ships in range, this is Dana Brott of the transport SS Azura.
came out a couple months later in November. Is when
Right.
Generations came out.
That makes sense.
Please help. We're being pursued by Orion raiders. Crew injured, taking heavy fire. Dropping out of
And then
warp
they would
near
get
your
first
coordinates.
contact
Need immediate
in
evacuation and assistance. Please
96.
help us.
And Insurrection in 98.
Mm-hmm.
And in 98, I am a year old. And
And I'm still a twinkle in my daddy's ballsack.
let's go fuck some people up.
Screw that, make them shit at each other.
Yeah. Always my favorite game to play.
Right? It's always a fan favorite.
Alright, I'm tired of being slow. After this, we're switching to... I want to go to space dock and get one of my other ships. I'll keep a time period, don't worry. Don't worry, everybody, I'll keep a time period.
I mean, now that we're in the 25th century, pretty much everything is time period now.
That's true, but...
Even your abomination of a Ferengi vessel.
And now this character doesn't have that yet. Oh wait, no, yes he does, because that's right. Never mind.
Because you're a horrible, horrible man.
I am an upstanding for society, and your slander will not be Oh my god.
Your slander offends all who walk the path.